Hey, thanks for checking out the Next Level Radio YouTube page. If you like what you hear, head to nextlevelradioonline.com. Find other podcasts and interviews that aren't included on the YouTube page, including guests such as Chris Parnell from SNL and Archer, Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway, Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy, even Chris Allen from American Idol, and much more. You can also download our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher, or stream them straight from our website at nextlevelradioonline.com. Also on the webpage, you'll find links to our Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you follow us to keep updated on everything we have going on and everything we have coming up. nextlevelradioonline.com also gives you coverage of events such as Philadelphia Comic-Con, and you can even check out our staff blog that includes movie reviews and much more. Again, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and head over to nextlevelradioonline.com for much more. Thanks for listening.
This is Kevin Bigley from Sirens, and you're listening to Next Level Radio.
Do you have an actual nickname on set?
Probably Apple. Yeah, I'm usually called Shut Up pretty often. I think that's it. I was always called Smalley when I was a kid. I was so small. They used to call me Kevin Smalley, or Not So Bigley. So I was just a tiny little kid. But those were my nicknames. And I beat the hell out of those guys.
Hi, this is Chris Gear.
Hi, this is Claire Coffey.
Hey, this is Lucky Yates.
Hey all, this is David Hoffman, and you are listening to Next Level Radio. Have fun.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Showcast, episode 14, season 2 of the Showcast on Next Level Radio. I am Ben Beck, joined by Adam Gorey and Steve Richards, back for another pretty busy podcast. Yet another interview this week, another interview next week. We're just lining them up, man. It's we're going strong with the interviews. I think we've only missed 1 week so far this year.
2, technically. But we had a double 1 week, so really we're only 1 week shy of having an average of one a week.
Yeah, which is what we were aiming for. So a couple other potentials lined up for the future as well, but this week we are going to be joined by an interview with Ori Pfeffer from USA's Dig. Steve and Adam had a chance to speak with him, so we're going to be able to play that back for you later on into the podcast. As well as next week, we are going to be speaking to TJ. Is it Tyne or Thine? Have we figured that out? For
Steve, do you know?
No.
I think it's Tyne.
That's what I think it's Tyne, too.
I will confirm. I'll confirm that.
So we might stand corrected a little bit later on in the podcast, but it's TJ Tyne from Fox's Bones. So our interviews are getting bigger, man, as far as the shows that we're speaking to and stuff like that. A lot more Fox shows we're speaking to now.
Yeah, we got on their good list, I guess.
We're on their radar.
Yeah.
So I know I usually ask about how everybody's week was, and I'll do that again, but I'm going to lead it off this time. I spent a good amount of time, and there's a reason why I'm leading off with it this time. I was up
selfish?
No, because every other week I ask you guys to talk about it, and I want to lead in with something this time. I went to New York this weekend. What? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just... Hold on. It is, in fact, TJ Thine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. TJ Thine from Fox's Bones. But I went to New York this weekend. I went to visit a beer house for the first time, which was a lot of fun. I did a shot off of a ski and drank a lot of beer out of steins and had a lot of German food, and it was fun. But I made a couple new friends, and they are now friends of the podcast. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the Caffeine Crew, which you can visit them on Facebook, facebook.com/ I don't know what the website for them on Facebook is, but it's just search for the Caffeine Crew and you'll find their site, or you can go to their webpage, www.caffeinecrew.com. They're another like pop culture video game blogging website, like our friends at Nerdbase. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out as well. But now that I've done that, how was you guys' weekends?
Steve, I'll let you go first.
That was a mistake because I don't really have anything to talk about.
Golfing again.
I was going to say you played golf.
Twice you did.
I played golf. Well, I played fake golf once, and I played real golf once.
I just played fake golf once.
It's still real golf.
Not a great experience.
Fake golf is like on Xbox. Real golf.
I would have played better on Xbox.
Were you swinging real clubs? Were you hitting real balls?
Yeah, most of the time.
So you were playing real golf.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, there was no actual grass involved, but all right,
Just turf.
Well, since Steve has nothing, I had to go to a bridal shower. That was a guy-girl bridal shower, which I was not terribly excited about. I still had a good time, obviously, because I was with friends of mine and everything. But I personally would.
You got a dog.
I would have not done that.
I need you to define this a little bit more. Was this a joint bachelorette party, or was it a bridal shower? What is the difference?
It was a bridal shower. A bachelorette party is like go out, drink, have fun.
So what's a bridal shower?
Do the damn thing. Bridal shower is usually the bride and her female friends get together, in a venue, open gifts, do like bridal shower thing, games or whatever. I think they still had games. Like it was like Greek themed because that's where they're going on their honeymoon. One of the games was like you circle the guy or the girl, and it was like who drinks more, and then you circle which one you think drinks more. Who's older? You circle that one. Whoever got more right gets like a little favor or whatever. It's it's something that ordinarily guys don't generally have to go to. And I tried to get out. I tried to play the "It's My Birthday Weekend" card. That did not help.
Well, if you're anything like you are on the podcast, you already played that card 4 times. So.
Hey, I only played it once when we did
an expiration.
Fake golf. I only did that once.
Yeah.
I used it really early, though.
You sure did.
Yeah, but that was pretty much my weekend. I went to a home improvement store today.
Nice little Saturday.
Yeah. Our lawn needs to be, fed and seeded, so that's about as exciting as my weekend got.
You sound like Frank the Tank from Old School.
Yeah, we were going to go to
Bed Bath & Beyond.
We didn't have time.
I wish I had an applause sound effect for Steve.
So do I.
That would be a mistake.
That would have been great. Instead, I just gave it a hey-o. So that works. Anyway, let's move on with the podcast and let us hit the box office for the week.
You son of a bitch.
You talking to me right now?
How was the box office this week?
It was interesting. Number 5, dropping back a spot. Cinderella, still in the top 5 though, with 7.2 million. That has a 5-week gross of 180.7 million. Get Hard is dropped back to number 4 from number 3, 8.6 million with a 3-week total of 71.2. And opening up at number 3, Lone Ranger, a.k.a. The Longest Ride, 13.5 million. I think, Steve, you called 3?
I think I might have said 2 just to get ambitious.
Okay. I think I said 4. I think, Ben, you said 6. So
Yeah, I said 6.
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing Price is Right rules closest without going over, and I don't know how that would work anyway, so we are wrong. Number 2, staying at number 2, Home, and then staying at number 1, Furious 7. Furious 7, by the way, made another 60.5 this week for a 2-week total of 252.5 million.
I saw it's broken 800 million worldwide already at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
which is crazy.
That is crazy. Longest Ride, 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. 76 from the audience, that audience being anybody who liked The Notebook.
Pretty much.
Do you guys know The Rock Bottoms, somebody in Furious 7?
He also did it, I think, in... No, maybe it wasn't in Furious 6, but in...
Is that a wrestling move?
Yeah, it's one of his signature moves. He's done it in past movies before, too. He did it in The Rundown with Sean William Scott, and I think he did it in The Mummy
I
as
think
well.
I remember that movie. Is that the one with the casino?
No, that's the
Or is he like a sheriff? Or I don't know.
no, that's
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I didn't see the other one.
No, The Rundown is one where he's Sean William Scott is this guy's son, and he's on the run, and The Rock is a like a bounty hunter sent into the jungle to find him and bring him back.
To run him down.
Pretty much.
Aptly named. All
He's
right.
sent in to get him and bring him home.
Do they say the words rundown in the movie? Because I feel like every movie says the title at some point.
I'm sure they probably do. I just don't remember when it is.
We should do that. We should figure out a list of movies that actually don't say the title.
Could be a topic for a week.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Let's move on, though, to movies coming out this week. April 17th is the date. The sequel that I'm not sure if it needed a sequel. Paul Blart 2, or Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, sorry, the Kevin James sequel to the first one. After 6 years of keeping our malls safe, Paul Blart has earned a well-deserved vacation. He heads to Vegas with his teenage daughter before she heads off to college, but safety never takes a holiday, and when duty calls, Blart answers.
okay, Adam, you know how I feel about Paul Blart Mall Cop. Haven't we talked about this before?
I think so. A while ago, though.
Where I actually
You had an idea for this?
I started a script.
Did you have an
that-
idea for the sequel?
I did actually, but it's nothing like what the sequel is.
Oh, okay.
I had an idea for a movie. I started a script years ago that was pretty much identical to Paul Blart Mall Cop. And when the trailer for Paul Blart Mall Cop came out, I wasn't finished my script yet, and I swore up and down somebody stole my idea and turned it into Paul Blart Mall Cop. I was so against that movie until I finally gave it a shot, and I loved it. I laughed my ass off. It's so stupid that it's funny.
Well, Kevin James co-wrote it, so you might want to send him an email.
Well, the funny thing is, as far as the sequel goes, I actually tweeted at Kevin James when I came up with the idea for the sequel. That was Paul Blart Undercover. And that was going to be my idea, and I had an idea, and I was kind of hoping he would tweet back at me, and he never did. And then a couple months later, I saw it was announced there was going to be a Paul Blart sequel, and it's nothing, has nothing to do with Undercover. So it's
You son of a bitch.
so he might have stolen my idea for a sequel, but it's nothing like what I was thinking this time around. At least.
Steve, did you see the first one?
No.
Okay. No interest, I assume.
No, not particularly.
Okay. It was funnier than I thought it would be, but still, I don't have much interest in this one. Next up, you have a horror movie, Unfriended, which might be the dumbest preface or premise or whatever to a horror film that there is. A group of online chat room friends find themselves haunted by a mysterious supernatural force using the account of their dead friend. Which, it sounds like nobody actually ever got unfriended in this movie. So...
Maybe they won't say the title in the movie.
The funny thing is too, like it's called Unfriended, but if you watch the trailer, it's a Skype conversation.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Facebook. Right?
It has nothing to do with Facebook. So at least not in the trailer. Maybe in the actual movie itself it does, but it's an interesting premise for a movie, at least for a horror movie. So I don't know if I'll go to theaters and check it out, but I might watch it on Netflix or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Next, Child 44, new Tom Hardy film. A disgraced member of the military police investigates a series of nasty child murders during the Stalin-era Soviet Union. I haven't heard much about this one, so not quite sure what to think. Disney, their new documentary film that always comes out every year for Earth Day. This year they have Monkey Kingdom, which is about Ben's family.
Hey!
It's actually a nature documentary that follows a newborn monkey and its mother as they struggle to survive within the competitive social hierarchy of the Temple Troop, a dynamic group of monkeys who live in ancient ruins found deep in the storied jungles of South Asia. I always like these movies. I like these Disney nature documentaries they do. I think they're cool.
I do too. I like some of the ones that they've done. I know BBC put out a documentary a while back, like Planet Earth and stuff,
Yeah.
which was really well done. And then and then Disney kind of took their own take to it. I think with I think like Frozen Earth was one of the ones that they had did with the polar bears in the Antarctic. But yeah, some of these are really good. I do like these.
Yeah, they
documentaries.
have. They already did a monkey one called Chimpanzee. Obviously, it's a different type of monkey, I guess. African cats, bears, oceans, wings of life. Earth is the one were just talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that one followed, I think, 3 families. That was whales, the polar bears, and then the elephants. But
I was waiting for you to say mine, and I was going to find a way to smack you.
no, Earth, oceans, and African cats I've seen. I haven't seen chimpanzee or bears, but I'm sure I will. Steve, have you ever seen any of those?
Yeah, I watch them when they're on. They're
Okay.
not hard to find. I think Tina Fey's the narrator. It says stars, Tina Fey, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's
she
because
is.
She's the narrator.
Yeah, she is the narrator for this one, so that's interesting. I didn't necessarily picture her as a voiceover person, but I guess I could see it.
That's a Disney movie, so
I like
she's
her.
got one of those Disney type voices.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on, you have True Story, which is about a James Franco and Jonah Hill film, but it's not a comedy. So, when disgraced New York Times reporter Michael Finkel meets accused killer Christian Longo, who has taken on Finkel's identity, his investigation morphs into a game of cat and mouse.
Sounds interesting.
Isn't that Ace Ventura? Finkel?
That's Ray Finkel.
Yeah.
It's
Close
And
enough.
Fink-
different.
And Finkel was Einhorn. So,
Einhorn was Finkel.
yeah.
Let's keep going. Alex of Venice, a workaholic attorney, is forced to reinvent her life after her husband suddenly leaves.
That's a
It's
sweet
great.
synopsis.
Yeah, I was going to say. Moving along, Beyond the Reach, a high-rolling corporate shark and his impoverished young guide play the most dangerous game during a hunting trip in the Mojave Desert. Michael Douglas is in it. For those Michael Douglas fans, for the rest of us, moving along. Felix and Myra, which is an unusual romance blossoming between 2 lost souls who inhabit the same neighborhood but vastly different worlds. Not sure how that makes sense. Monsters, Dark Continent, 10 years on from the events of Monsters and the Infected. This is a sequel, I guess. I didn't see the first Monsters.
It seems that way.
Nor did I hear of it, so I'm just going to move on. The Deadlands is the last one I have here, and I haven't really heard anything about that. So let's end it there and let's see what we think could make the top 5. For those of you keeping track at home, number 5 this week made 7.2 at the box office. So I guess we can start with Ben.
Out of the movies that are coming out this week, that are going to be opening this week, I think the only movie that probably has any potential to make it into the top 5. Reiterate to me again, what was number 5?
Sure. This week?
Yeah, this week.
Number 5 this week, I believe, was Cinderella.
Was Cinderella. Yeah, and it's been in there long enough that I think it could get bumped.
This is its 6th week.
And yeah, I think it could get bumped. I think the only movie out of them that could probably make it into the top 5, and I think it's going to, and I think it's going to reach number 5, and that's probably about it, is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. I don't really see any of the other ones having any potential to make it in, unless there's one I'm forgetting for some reason.
Okay. Steve, do you want me to give you the theater breakdown? I have it here ready for you. Monkey Kingdom in 2,000 theaters, Paul Blart in 3,600, and Unfriended in 2,600. Child 44.
I forgot about Unfriended. I knew I forgot one.
Child 44 and True Story each in 500, so not a whole lot there.
I think I want the Monkey Kingdom to be in there, but I'm not sure it will be. So give me Paul Blart 3.
Wow.
Give me Unfriended 5 and Lone Ranger bumped.
Yeah, I wanna reiterate mine because I forgot about Unfriended. I'm actually going to say Unfriended at 4 and Paul Blart at 5.
Okay. I'm going to say Viva la Monkeys, and I agree with Steve. I want that to be in there, so I'm going to put it in there at number 3. It says April 17th. I was always under the impression Disney released these on Earth Day, which is until the 22nd, so if that comes into play somehow, but everything I've seen says the 17th, so I'm going to give Monkeys... Actually, I'll kick Monkeys to 4 because it's not in as many theaters. I'll get Paul Blart at 3 and Unfriended at 5, so 3 new movies in the top 5, yeah. That's what I'm going to go with.
I think one week we should do a editorial on the parenting in America because Home has been in the top 2 for 3 weeks in a row. So
It's good.
And Paddington is no longer in the top 5. So I mean,
that's stupid.
Yeah.
so.
But that's it for my end.
All right, cool. Awesome. Moving on to my end of the list then with the new releases for the week on DVD and Blu-ray. Paddington, actually, no, not this week. It's coming out next week.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's coming out, I think, next week on Blu-ray and DVD. So we'll be able to weave Paddington back into our conversation starting next week with the DVD and Blu-ray releases.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm double-checking. No, it is not next week. It is 2 weeks from now.
Good.
So the week
Next
of April
week, that means
27th.
Next week we can say it's next week.
That's true. So we'll be talking about Paddington yet again.
Yeah, next week.
But not a lot coming out this week. As I said, last week we're going into a slow period as far as DVD and Blu-ray releases go. But a couple are worth mentioning. Starting off first with The Babadook, starring Essie Davis and Noah Wiseman. Made
This is already on Netflix, isn't it? Or no? Maybe it was a little
Boppity-boopity.
later in the month.
It might. Yeah,
It's coming out on Netflix this month.
A lot of stuff is coming out on Netflix at the same time as Blu-ray and DVD release now. So
Babadook.
the structure of like DVD releases and movie releases is changing, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, we're witnessing history here, people. Pay attention.
Made under $1 million at the box office. 98% from the critics, though 75% from the audience. So it did rather well. It's getting a lot of good criticism. It's a single mother plagued by a violent death of her husband battles with her son's fear of a monster lurking in the house, but soon discovers a sinister presence all around her. Buy rent or buy Netflix or pass. I'll Netflix it. With a horror movie that's got that good of a rating, I'll check it out.
I'll pass.
You're going to pass? How about you, Steve?
Netflix, 98%. You gotta listen to those.
That's what I mean. Next up, another horror movie, The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. Obviously the sequel of The Woman in Black, which was a...
This one with Harry Potter, or was that the first one?
No, that was the Harry Potter. Was the first one.
Okay.
40 years after the first haunting at El Marsh House, a group of children evacuated from a World War II London arrive, awakening the house's darkest inhabitant. Starring Jeremy Irvine, $26.4 million at the box office, so not a bad take for a movie that is horribly reviewed at 22% on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics, 28% from the audience. Buy rent pass or buy Netflix pass, it's going to be a pass. I didn't even bother watching the first one.
Pass.
Yeah, I'll be alright. Thanks, though.
And last release for the week is Big Eyes, drama about the awakening of painter Margaret Keane.
Big Eyes for the straight guys.
Her phenomenal success in the 1950s and the subsequent legal difficulties she had with her husband, who claimed credit for her works in the 60s. Stars Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz. $14.3 million at the box office. 71% from the critics, 70% from the audience. So, buy Netflix or pass. It'll probably be a Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix for me.
So.
I agree. I think it was Oscar bait while we were in the heat of that season. So,
I think it was too.
Netflix.
Yeah, I think it was too. But that's going to wrap it up for the box office for the week. However, I do want to mention: have either of you had a chance to watch Daredevil yet?
No, sorry. I want to finish House of Cards before I start Daredevil.
How about you, Steve? Have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen any of it yet. I'm rewatching Mad Men, and once I finish that, I'm going to start Daredevil. That'll be the next thing.
I'll put it to you this way, as far as how Daredevil is. We've said before that when it comes to movies, Marvel has the edge, and DC has the edge when it comes to television. However, if Marvel starts producing their television shows to the level of Daredevil, DC's going to have some serious competition on their hands when it comes to television. It is by far the best Marvel television show they have done. It's very dark. It's very depressing. But that is the background of Daredevil. I watched 3.
Okay.
And it was very tough for me to stop. And the only reason I stopped was because it was 1 a.m. And I had a 2-hour drive up to New York City the next day. So
good reason, yeah.
If I didn't have anywhere to go on Saturday, chances are I probably would have got through at least like 5 or 6 episodes. So I'm holding off starting anymore for now, but I'm very, very tempted to keep watching because it is that good.
Have 4 or 5 more episodes of House of Cards till I'm done. So I'm almost done, and then once I'm done that, I'll get right on to Daredevil.
It's another one of those things with Netflix. Is like it's so awesome that all this series is out and you can binge it, but it's just a longer wait you force yourself to make until the next season.
Yep.
So I'm trying to pace myself both with House of Cards and Daredevil, but Daredevil is so damn good that you just can't help but want to watch the next episode. It is that good. So, but anyway, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to hit next.
Doing trailer
yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, Steve. I apologize.
It's expected at this point.
I even said it in show prep that we were going to do trailer trash.
You son of a bitch.
That's what I wanted to say.
All right, let us move on to the trailer trash.
Howdy, y'all. It's time for the trailer trash. Cletus, I thought I told you to sit down and shut up.
All right, so what do we got coming our way, Steve?
So leading off this week in the dumpster will be Hot Pursuit, a action comedy starring an inept police officer played by Reese Witherspoon who must protect the widow of a drug dealer starring Sofia Vergara from criminals and dirty policemen. So kind of like an action comedy. May 8th, so coming out kind of soon, but just saw the trailer this week. What did you guys think of good old Hot Pursuit?
I think I might have. I like Reese Witherspoon and I like Sofia Vergara, but I think I might have to give this one a dumpster fire. I'm not too thrilled with it. It's a little racist. Sofia Vergara has to be the widow of a drug dealer, of course. She's Colombian. But even on top of that, it looks kind of silly to me. So I'm definitely not seeing it in the theaters. And maybe I'll check it out, on Netflix one day when I have nothing else to do. But it just doesn't look that good for me as far as comedies go. But I will say, not many. I mean, there aren't too many comedies that have 2 lead females. I think Heat is the only one I can think of off the top of my head, and that was actually better than I thought it would be. So, I mean, you never know.
Is this movie?
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe she only knows how to do female written comedy. Did she do Bridesmaids too, right?
As well, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, both of those were pretty good. So, I mean, it has the chance to be good. Like I said, I like both of them, but the trailer didn't do much for me.
Yeah, I agree. Dumpster fire. It's I didn't really laugh much at the trailer at all. I thought everything was too silly for me, and it's a dumpster fire. I can't even really say much else about it.
Yeah, this isn't. I don't think it's really up any of our alleys. So I think we're all going to call this a dumpster fire and move on. But for me, this will be the epitome of a dumpster fire, and that is the next trailer, which is Spy.
Yes!
A desk-bound CIA analyst who happens to be the wonderfully non-talented Melissa McCarthy volunteers to go undercover to infiltrate the world of a deadly arms dealer and prevent diabolical global disaster. Jason Statham also in this, which is kind of cool because it's a comedy type of thing. And Rose Byrne is in it as well. Release date set for June 5th, 2015. Ben, your turn to start. Spy.
I think you pretty much summed it up. I purposely sent the link to you guys just so that I could have a dumpster fire in the trailer trash this week.
I was kind of curious why you did that.
You also, you forgot to mention Jude Law also in the movie. So the movie has a really good cast.
And Allison Janney's in it as well, who's kind of making her
Marina Baccarin, Rose Byrne, Jason Statham, Jude Law, and then the moment you get to Melissa McCarthy, it's done.
She's the star, so there you go.
Let's have, it's like, in my opinion, it's like, hey, let's shove another, hey, I'm a fat slob falling down all the time Melissa McCarthy movie down your throat.
In the trailer, she eats a wet nap. Like, this is what Melissa McCarthy is. Like, what? Stop doing this to me. If you like Melissa McCarthy, go see the movie. If you don't, then stop.
I mean, and here's the thing, like, I want to like Melissa McCarthy, But I mean, especially after seeing Saint Vincent, because it's such a different role for her,
Yeah,
and
she
I
actually
know
said
I know she can do it.
Yeah.
So stop putting her in this role because it's making me hate her.
Yeah,
So like it's
I agree.
it's
Tell us how you
I'm
really
tired
feel,
of it.
guys.
I'm tired of it.
What do you got?
I'm tired.
I'm not going to come in and say that I enjoyed it. So, by the way, I think this is the one that did Bridesmaids. This guy,
It's Paul Feig. Yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah, so I got the trailers mixed up then.
Yeah, he did Bridesmaids and The Heat, which, like I said, they're pretty decent. But
So it's Paul Feig's fault.
this is like a crazy bad female version of Get Smart.
I thought the same thing.
So that's, and that movie, I think in general that movie didn't do well, even though I think it's a little bit underrated. I know, Ben, you would agree.
I do.
This is no good.
No
Next.
bueno.
No good. Set it on fire.
Yep.
And then closing out the movie portion, we have a couple TV shows and documentaries to go over, but the movie portion ends with the horror sequel, Sinister 2. I don't see a release date here. There might be one, but I don't see it. If you saw the first Sinister, you know what
August
the second
21st.
There you go. If you saw the first one, you know what the second one will be. The synopsis is a young mother and her twin sons move into a rural house that's marked for death. I think, Adam, it's your turn.
Ethan Hawke was the first one about the boogeyman too?
Sinister
guess.
it was, yeah.
Yeah, it looks
I
like
get these
okay.
confused, so maybe it was, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it was.
it was. Yeah, Ethan Hawke was in that. I just don't. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I like thrillers and whatnot, but straight up horror ones like this, I'm not really into. So, for me, it's a dumpster fire. But that's just my preference.
What do you got?
I'm actually going to give this one a trash to treasure. The first Sinister was actually really good as far as ratings go. It's a good rating. I mean, it's in the 63, 65 area. So promising, not certified fresh, but not a Rotten Tomato either way. And I dig straight up horror movies like this. Granted, none of them really scare me that much anymore, but this one, looks like it's kind of eerie and stuff. So I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a trash to treasure.
Like I said, I get mixed up between these movies, but if Sinister is what I think it is, I really enjoyed Sinister.
Ethan Hawke was in it.
Yeah, I think that's why I think I know what this one is. Is he a writer in that one? Do we know?
Yeah, yes.
Then I enjoyed the twist on this one, on the first one. So I think I'm going to put this one in the treasure category as well. I probably won't see it in the theater, but I'll see it eventually in my own house where I don't get afraid when I leave the theater.
During the day.
Yeah, exactly. During the day, the windows are on. So yeah, I think that'll be a treasure for me. So yeah, like I said, that closes the movie portion, but there are some other categories to cover. The first being a documentary called Live from New York, which...
It's all about Mad TV.
Yeah, exactly. Which obviously is the opening line from Saturday Night Live. So this is a documentary where if I just read the synopsis, it's pretty long, but I'll read the first paragraph. Saturday Night Live has been reflecting and influencing life in the United States for 40 years. Live from New York goes deep inside this cultural phenomenon, exploring the laughter that pulses through American politics, tragedy, and popular culture. April. It might be like next week. Yeah, April 15th is the release on this one. I'm not sure if it's in theaters and such, but I just caught the trailer this week, so I was excited to see it and excited to hear what you think, starting with Ben.
First off, I'm glad to see somebody signed off a Skype account while we were in the middle of recording a podcast.
You do know I can edit that out, you idiot.
It's funny. I like the fact that I think you should just leave it in.
Well, now I have to because you make mention of it, you Nimrod.
I think it shows just the natural ability, like the natural outcome of our podcast. I think it's just completely natural.
You should get more Schwarzenegger ones. Who's your daddy and what does he do?
That's awesome. I love the fact that you used the word Nimrod. I'm actually really excited to see this. I've been a huge Saturday Night Live fan for a while, even during the more recent, not so good years. But I love looking into the past, all the little quirks, the stories behind certain sketches that a lot of other people don't know, that I'm sure this will shine a big light on. And, I mean, the 40th anniversary episode actually taught me a couple things about SNL that I didn't even know, being the huge fan that I am. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else I'll learn from this documentary. So it's definite trash to treasure to me. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah,
I might actually see it in theaters.
Yeah, I think you pretty much summed it up, because I was gonna say that was a lot of this looks right up my wheelhouse as far as when I was watching the SNL 40th. They showed a lot of similar type things, old clips and things of that nature, and a little bit behind the scenes on it. And that stuff really interests me, especially a show that's been on as long as SNL has. So yeah, I'm giving it a trash to treasure as well.
There's actually another documentary that James Franco did that's available on, I think it's on Hulu.
Express?
No, that's not a documentary.
That wasn't real?
No, it wasn't real.
You're
Sorry.
high as a fucking kite.
It's a documentary that Franco did. I think it's available on Hulu. It's called Saturday Night. And it's pretty much what happens from day one until live, how they prep for a show for the week. And it's actually a really good documentary. It gives you a lot of insight as to, he focused on a week when, oh God, what the hell is his name? He was the villain in Con Air. John Malkovich. John Malkovich was the host for the week. And it starts off with all the writers pitching ideas for sketches, and it goes through the full run of, how sketches get cut and, how everybody's looking to get sketches on the air. And it's actually really, really well done. It gives you a lot of insight as to how the show is run. So that's another one worth checking out, too. But, Steve, what's your opinion on this one?
Yeah, I thought this was the best trailer that I saw all week, actually. And it's not for a movie, which sucks. But as long as it comes out in theaters, I would think about seeing it in theaters as well. They kind of do these... They kind of separated them out by the decade. I'm not sure exactly what they were called, and they air on like VH1 or MTV or something. They might air on E! Too. If you're watching TV on weekends, sometimes you can catch them. They do them by decade, but
yeah,
it looks like this is going to be a full-blown one about the entire series as a whole, so I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I've seen those on VH1 at least. I'm not sure what else, but...
Yeah, and then closing out is a TV portion. I'll kind of bulk these two together because it's for two HBO shows that are going to come out in June. The first being Ballers, which is a new series starring The Rock and Carmelo Okendo. The synopsis is a series centered around a group of football players and their families, friends, and handlers. It looks like the Entourage version of the NFL is what they're kind of going for here.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun because it'll be uncensored and such, so you'll hear all sorts of cursing and you'll probably see some X-rated things as well. And it could be entertaining, just like in the way that Entourage was. And then the second that came out this week was True Detective for Season 2 of True Detective. The first season obviously was awesome and won a bunch of awards. That one starred Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, and Michelle Monaghan. But the way that they're doing it, it's like a whole entirely new series. And this season will star Colin Farrell, Vince Vaughn, and Rachel McAdams, and Taylor Kitsch, who is he was in Friday Night Lights. I can't think of the character he played right now, but he was a main character in Friday Night Lights. But yeah, so they brought back a bunch of big names again, and I assume they're going to kind of do the same format where they go back in time and then fast forward into time, and probably win a bunch of awards again because this thing is really well written. So we can go one at a time if you want. Adam, you can start with Ballers and then Season 2 of True Detective. What did you think?
I like them. I like them both. I mean, the True Detective thing didn't really show me much of what the season is about. But
that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with it anyway, so yeah. I think they kind of knew that, and that's why they did that. The Ballers thing looks entertaining for sure, and it's only a half hour, so I mean, it's listed as a comedy with some drama obviously thrown in there, being on HBO. But I'm always down for half-hour comedies because you can bust through them real quick, especially like for the binge watchers out there. And by the way, Taylor Kitsch was Tim Riggins on Friday
he was
Night
Riggins.
Lights.
That's it.
So,
he was Riggins.
Which I never saw, but I liked him in the very brief amount he was in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie as Gambit. But
Gambit.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of his, even though he's had some movies that didn't quite do so well. But both of those, I should say, looked very entertaining. I'll check them both out.
Yeah, and then to speak to your comedy point, he wasn't top billed, but Rob Corddry was in the trailer of Ballers, so it definitely can fall under the comedy category because he's obviously a comedic guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his, but despite that, I still think it looks good.
Yeah. Ben, what do you think?
As far as I'll start with True Detective, the second season of True Detective. It's very hard for me to give this one a rating because I still have yet to see the first season. And as Adam said, the trailer for the second season really doesn't show you much of anything. So, I mean, if I saw a little bit more of a developing story as to what this season is going to be about and such, it might be a little bit easier for me to make a judgment call as far as this trailer. But since it really doesn't show much and I'm not familiar with the first season, granted, it's on my watch list. I'm definitely going to check it out because I've heard nothing but great things. I really can't give a rating to this one as of just yet. As far as ballers go, is it supposed to be a comedy or is it a drama? To me, I got more of a dramatic feel to it.
Yeah, it's probably that way. I don't know. I think it's just more meant for entertainment, really. Entourage is listed as only a comedy. Again, I keep drawing that comparison, but it could have a little more drama to it. Yeah, it looks like it's a good mix, but it could be more drama than comedy. I think I just said comedy because comedy was first.
Okay. Yeah, to me, I mean, it looked a little bit more of like a dramatic feel with just some comedic elements, obviously, to lighten the mood. It's with, Rob Corddry and such. But I dig it. I think it actually looks pretty good. I'm a fan of Corddry. I'm a fan of The Rock. And I like football. So, granted, not as much to play fantasy, but enough that I enjoyed, like, Friday Night Lights and Any Given Sunday, which to me, it seems like this show has more of an Any Given Sunday kind of feel to it than Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
because it's more about the management than the actual play of the game.
Yeah, and the other part of that is we were talking off air where the NFL won't be endorsing much of this show, and that's exactly what. Did you say Any Given Sunday or Friday Night Lights?
No, Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, that's exactly what Any Given Sunday was. The NFL essentially boycotted that movie.
Yeah, drug use, drinking, partying, stuff like that.
Which, let's face it, that's really what happens in the NFL. The NFL just doesn't want to shine a light on it.
Is done.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. We might see some, like dragging of women out of elevators, and
yeah, that wouldn't be good.
I wouldn't put it past them.
No, not at all. They might change it up a little bit in the show, but we'll see. But yeah, it's that one is going to be a trash or treasure for me because I'm going to check it out. And HBO has a good track record with their television series.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where I fall. Is I put it in the treasure just because I watch everything that HBO puts out. I at least give everything they have a chance. So
I got HBO free this weekend.
Watching it. Yeah,
is it a free weekend for HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of Game of Thrones.
Probably.
Yeah, they're doing Game of Thrones pretty hard.
Yeah,
which starts tonight.
It's been on all day.
Comcast did some watch-a-thon where you get every premium channel for free this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I know if you have Apple and Apple TV, they're actually giving you the new...
I don't... Yep, that should do it for the trailer trash.
Oh, okay. I was saying, too, that Apple was giving you a free month of the new HBO Go streaming that they have that's exclusive with Apple right now. So that's like an opportunity to binge watch the last 4 seasons of Game of Thrones if you haven't already.
And you can do HBO just streaming now, right?
Well, that's what the new streaming service is, yeah. All right, cool. So we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to hit our next level news. We're going to tell you about a couple shows that are on the bubble now that May is coming up and sweeps coming up with television shows. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? It's Andrew Santino. You are listening to the Showcast on Next Level Radio.
Are you like a stalker or something?
All right, let's move along and let us hit the next level news for this week.
This is Next Level News.
All right, starting off first with some Arrested Development news. Brian Grazer says new episodes are in the works. Is Arrested Development coming back for new episodes? According to executive producer Brian Grazer, yes, and 17 to be exact. In an interview released Tuesday, Grazer confirmed rumors that the comedy will return yet again. After 7 years off the air, Arrested Development was revived by Netflix for a 15-episode fourth season in May 2013, and now the series starring Jason Bateman originally aired for Fox for 3 seasons from 2003 to 2006. Was not renewed due to low ratings despite critical acclaim and a loyal fan base, but now it will be coming back for a 5th season on Netflix in a 17-episode stint. Moving on to some Beauty and the Beast news, the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Ian McKellen to play Cogsworth in the Disney Beauty and the Beast.
Kevin Bigley is playing Belle.
That's right. I forgot. Bigley gave us that insider news.
nextlevelradioonline.com/interviews. You're going to hear that breaking news.
What was the comment you made, Steve?
Which character is that? Cogsworth? I don't know who
The
that
Clog.
is.
The Clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. After portraying a wizard and a mutant in 2 lucrative franchises, Ian McKellen's next role would be a piece of furniture. The British thespian is set to play Cogsworth in Disney's live-action retelling of Beauty and the Beast, starring Emma Watson. Variety can exclusively reveal. Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Josh Gad, and Emma Thompson also will star. Bill Condon is directing from a script, and yeah, I'm not even really. I don't care about who wrote it and shit like that.
It's live action, but is he still voicing the character?
Yeah, it's going to be him. He is actually playing the physical Cogsworth.
And he's going to be a clock?
Maybe it is just a voice role. I'm not sure. Because if it's live action, then Belle's going to be live action.
Giant mascot suit as a clock?
Nah, it's probably going to be a CGI clock, and he's going to do the voice. Yeah. Production will begin later this year for a March 17, 2017 release.
Oh, jeez, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, Disney has several live-action reboots of classic tales on the horizon, including Mulan, Winnie the Pooh, Dumbo, Pinocchio, The Jungle Book, and Pete's Dragon. So, Pete's Dragon was kind of already a live-action.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was just an animated dragon. Everybody else was live-action.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the dragon will be real this time. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, they're big into doing that now, this whole live-action thing.
Well, I mean, they found success with Cinderella, so...
I've been overly impressed with really any of them that they've done so far. I haven't seen Cinderella, but...
None of them have been very good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Cinderella either.
I haven't either.
Jungle Book should be interesting. I wonder if the bear will actually, eat anybody.
Anyway, I'm moving on.
Disney was doing a live action of the Jungle Book until the bear killed everyone on set.
Moving on to some sort of Disney news. Marvel developing an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off for ABC. Huge news for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans. Not only is a 3rd season of the action-adventure series pretty much guaranteed, but Marvel is quietly developing a spin-off for ABC. What we don't know is which characters from the current series will be moved over to the proposed spin-off, so let speculation begin on that. There won't be an implanted pilot episode this season directly setting up the spin-off either, like how CW launched The Flash out of Arrow. However, story elements that are still to come on S.H.I.E.L.D. this year will be used to lay the groundwork for the potential new series. So by the end of the season, assuming the details for this project haven't already leaked, the spin-off concept should be clear by the time this season is over, which should be coming up. I mean, it's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, next month, I would say.
So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this. I was thinking maybe something with the Inhumans that they're kind of focusing on now with the show, but there's a movie coming out for the Inhumans, so which is another reason why I don't know why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is touching on it, because there's going to be a movie later.
Yeah, you got me. I haven't seen any of Season 2, so...
No. Well, there you go.
Dragons.
No, you're thinking Game of Thrones.
Oh.
There you go. Warner Brothers picks up the film rights to Five Nights at Freddy's video game. Warner Brothers has acquired the rights to transform the dark video game Five Nights at Freddy's into a feature film. The 2014 point-and-click game takes place in a fictional pizza place, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the player takes on the role of a night security guard. The goal of the game is to defend yourself from the malfunctioning animatronic animal band during the night locked inside the pizza parlor. Think a demonic version of Chuck E. Cheese, and you have a pretty good mental picture already.
Chuck E. Cheese is already pretty demonic in its own right.
Have you guys seen Five Nights at Freddy's at all?
No.
I'm looking at it right
It's
now.
a rather short.
Looks
It's
creepy.
it's a rather short game. It's very creepy. It's pretty much, and you are stationary. You don't move.
Oh, really?
You do not move at all. You are in the security booth, and you have a very limited amount of power, and you have to use it to activate security cameras to find out where these guys are moving. And you also have to make sure you have enough power to keep lights off and doors closed in the security room, otherwise they will get to you. So it's basically you're managing your power supply to make sure these guys cannot reach the room, but also to look at the security cameras to see where they're at the same time, to know when to keep the doors closed and when to keep the lights off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like something I'd want to play.
It's very creepy. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to... I'm thinking more of something along the lines of some kind of horror movie meets like Night at the Museum.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
Did they say it's supposed to
and
be
the
like
final
a kids thing?
No, it's a horror.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to make it a kids-friendly horror movie. They could, who knows? And the final story for Next Level News, one I'm actually pretty excited about. Olivia Wilde and Garrett Hedlund to return for a third Tron film. The cast of the third installment of Disney's Tron series is shaping up, rumored to be called Tron Ascension. It looks like Tron Legacy's two leads, Olivia Wilde and Garrett Hedlund, are returning to the world of the grid as Cora and Sam Flynn, respectively, along with the recently confirmed John Krasinski, who is back to board and direct the follow-up to his 2010 film. Have you guys seen Tron Legacy?
Yes. That's the... not reboot, but it's the sequel that was like
It's
20 years later.
Yeah, the sequel to Tron.
Yeah, when it said third movie, when I saw that this week, I was like, wait, didn't they only make a second? And then I had to remember that it wasn't a reboot. I had to remember it was a sequel.
Yeah. Steve, have you seen the Tron films?
I only saw the first one. But
And you haven't seen Legacy?
No.
The second one was okay.
I saw Tron Legacy. That's the one that I've seen. So I
guess that's the second one.
Okay, I've only seen one.
Yeah, the original was back in, the 80s?
I think, yeah, like early 80s. So, and it was pretty groundbreaking for its time with the technology that they used.
Yeah. I think you can get it pretty cheap on DVD. It's like $5.
I have them both on Blu-ray, and because I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah, it came out in 82. The last one came out in 2010, so it's almost 30 years apart.
Yep.
But they played that into the movie, which was kind of cool. Like Jeff Bridges was older. They used the CGI to do like a younger looking Jeff Bridges. You know, as what was the character? I don't remember the character's name. He was the bad guy, essentially.
Yeah, I forget what the bad guy's name was in it too, even though. That's it. Yeah. So, and it's going to be interesting to see if Jeff Bridges is going to be coming back for this one as well, because his character was kind of written off at the end of the second one. So we'll see. And that's going to wrap it up for the Next Level News for this week. Moving on, as I said before, it is April, which means we're getting close to May sweeps with a lot of television shows. And as we had talked about over the summer, as far as shows that might be coming back and might not be coming back, it's time to talk about the same thing as far as television shows that are coming to an end for this season. So we'll go through the networks, and we'll pretty much do the quick rundown as to what shows are on the bubble, which shows are coming back, and which shows are pretty safe to say are not going to be coming back. And then we can give our impressions to what we think, whether or not it should be coming back or not. I'll start things off with CBS. The list of safe shows is pretty clear. Two Broke Girls, The Amazing Race, Big Bang Theory, which I think still has 2 more seasons after this one that they're signed for. Blue Bloods, Criminal Minds, Elementary, The Good Wife, Hawaii Five-0, which I'm a huge fan of. Madam Secretary, Mike and Molly, Mom, NCIS, and all of the other NCIS iterations. Scorpion, which again I'm another show I'm a huge fan of. Survivor and Undercover Boss. But moving on to the shows that are on the bubble, and on the bubble doesn't necessarily mean canceled. It means it could fall either way at this point. A lot of shows that have been on the bubble have gotten renewed.
Yeah,
so
a lot of those, they depend a lot on the finale ratings. Like, some shows will get canceled before the season's over. The bubble ones, usually they wait to see how the finale shakes out, and then they make their decision.
Yeah, exactly. The shows on the bubble this year are CSI, which is, it's hard to imagine. I mean, CSI has pretty much been like a flagship show for CBS. So it's hard to imagine that it's not going to come back for another season.
Yeah, you'd think they would do that on their own terms type of deal. You know, not just
I mean, it's been 15 years already, so I think, if anything, they might tell them, all right, we're going to bring you back for another year, but this is going to be your final season.
Yeah.
You know, so write it out.
Out of respect, at least.
Yeah, I mean, 15 years, you've given them that much time. Why wouldn't you give them the opportunity to bow out on their own?
Right.
CSI Cyber, which I actually gave up on after 3 episodes. I mean, CSI in the title usually gives it a little bit more power, but I don't know about this one. I was a fan of New York and I was a fan of Miami, but I don't.
And they pulled
a
pretty good cast for it too.
Yeah, they got the Beak.
Yeah, they got the Beak.
Arquette.
They got Patricia Arquette. Yeah.
I like how we went to the Beak and Steve went to Patricia Arquette.
I was getting to her eventually, but
and Bow Wow.
Oh,
Let's not forget Bow Wow.
Poor guy can't catch
Well, if it's
Bow
on the
Wow.
bubble, maybe I'll hit up their rep again. Maybe they'll really want to push it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too. Person of Interest, also on the bubble. It's a show that's not owned by CBS, even though it's aired on CBS, which is kind of a hit to them because that means that CBS can kind of just get rid of it without having to worry about it.
They better watch out. Canceling a show with Jesus in it. It's not good karma.
Not only Jesus, but Ben Linus from Lost.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous man.
Yes, this is true.
And the last show on the bubble for CBS, which I'm rather kind of bummed at because I'm really enjoying, is The Odd Couple.
That's the one
with Matthew Perry and Thomas Lennon. It's gotten a lot of good reviews. It's just not getting the viewers that CBS wants. So it's on the bubble for right now. But I kind of hope it picks up, and I kind of hope they keep it going.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Matthew Perry. After Friends, he hasn't gotten really on any shows that have been getting renewed, but they're actually like not bad shows that he's doing.
No, Mr. Sunshine, Studio 6 on the Sunset Strip were both great shows that I loved, which, we talked to Nate Torrance about. Cause,
both of those, wasn't he?
yeah, he was in both of those shows.
NextLevelRadioOnline.com/interviews.
I was waiting for it.
Careful what you say about Nate Torrance as a premonition to the future of this segment.
Oh, yeah. And moving on to the shows that are endangered, which means there's a good chance that they're probably going to get canceled. Battle Creek, starring which was a Vince Gilligan show. And it's funny because it says in here, does creator Vince Gilligan even watch the show? Because the ratings are that bad. The McCarthys, which was pulled from the schedule, but we're hearing is not actually dead, may actually be dead now. And Stalker, which I never watched. So,
nope, I didn't watch any of those.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
Exactly.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't even watched. But now moving on to network-wise. Well, let's make some predictions. Do we think, as far as ending the bubble shows, CSI Cyber, Person of Interest, and The Odd Couple, do we think any of them are going to come back?
I would say CSI, and I think Person of Interest will come back for another one.
How about you, Steve?
I think both of the CSIs and The Odd Couple is actually... Well, I watched Battle Creek for a couple episodes, but The Odd Couple's the only show that you've named so far that I watch. So I can hope for that one to come back.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I watch everything that Matthew Perry's in. I give Matthew Perry a chance in everything just because of his friend stuff. Him and Will Arnett, I follow around, and they've done a bunch of failed sitcoms since, but I still follow them around and watch what they have to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. And I think CSI is going to come back. CSI Cyber, yeah, probably chances are just because it's a CSI show, they're going to give it a second run. In all honesty, I could probably see all 4 of these shows coming back. I think if any of them are going to get canceled, I think Person of Interest would probably be the one they're going to drop.
Yeah, because the ownership thing.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to the next network, speaking of Nate Torrance, moving on to Fox. The quick rundown of their safe shows: American Idol, Bob's Burgers, Bones, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Empire. Of course, Empire's coming back. Family Guy, Gotham, Hell's Kitchen, Last Man on Earth, which was renewed for its second season, and I love that show. MasterChef Junior, New Girl, The Simpsons, and Sleepy Hollow, which I actually got bored with and stopped watching. Only show on the bubble for Fox is actually The Mindy Project, which is a good thing because I'm so over Mindy Kaling right now. Like, I'm actually tired of her.
Yeah, me too. I heard that show is pretty good, but I don't like her, so I don't watch it.
It says the ratings are low, but the press and advertisers like the show, so that's it's a good reason for it to come back. But the endangered shows for Fox, starting off with Backstrom and The Following, which sucks because I really like Backstrom. Odds are, at most part, one of these crime dramas will come back, and Backstrom has this slight edge, giving Fox a strong relationship with its producer, who also produces Bones. So
they're gonna axe Kevin. That's a Kevin Bacon show, isn't it? The Following.
Yeah.
And it's been on for 3 seasons. They gave it its run. So, I mean, how often can you kill off the main villain and keep him coming back?
Yeah, I didn't know what the show was, but I know Kevin Bacon was the star, so it's kind of weird to cancel a Kevin Bacon show.
Yeah, and so I mean,
NBC canceled a
Michael J. Fox.
But no.
Oh no, that was
Crossbones.
I think that was with Malkovich.
Malkovich, yeah, John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Didn't even get a full 2 seasons. Didn't even get a second season at all.
Yeah, so I'm hoping Backstrom comes back because I'm actually really digging it, and it keeps getting better. I actually tweeted out to the Backstrom Twitter account the other day after I had watched this past week's episode, just saying I keep getting more and more hooked every week, and they actually tweeted back at me, and I put Thomas Decker in the tweet too, but he didn't respond at all. So
said, Ben, stop following us. You're creeping us out.
No. Red Band Society, which is one of those not officially canceled but canceled series. Which I enjoyed, but now I kind of gave up on it since I've been hearing it's going to get canceled.
Yeah, for the last 6 months now.
Yeah, and the final show that is endangered is Weird Loners. Unfortunately, with Nate.
By the way, this is off EW, Entertainment Weekly, and all they put was no.
No,
so that's not good.
No, so chances are it's probably not coming back. I've heard the ratings are not that good, which sucks because anytime we talk to somebody and they're really personable and they're a lot of fun to speak with, I always wish their shows a lot of luck. And unfortunately, it looks like Nate Torrance is going to probably be looking for another show or movie sometime in the future. He has not had a good track record with television.
No, he should stick to movies.
Yeah, we'll get him back into movies. She's Just Not That Into You too.
There you go.
With Nate Torrance as the main character.
Yes. He's married in the first one, so I don't think that would work out.
Could have gone through a divorce.
I guess.
That's what it's about. She's obviously just not that into him.
By the way, that's not even the title of the film. It's She's Out of My League.
That's what I know. Well, that's all right. I was calling it She's All That before.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Boy.
Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.
All right, moving on to the next network. The Mindy Project on the bubble, renewed or not?
Steve.
Am I allowed to root against a show? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not all that into her, so I never really watched it though, so it could be good. But if the ratings are low, then that doesn't seem like a good thing. So I don't think that one will come back. I actually realized as you go down the list that I probably watch the most amongst the network TVs. I probably watch the most Fox shows, but they're all safe. So.
Oh, there's quite a few on this list that I watch. Brooklyn Nine-Nine I watch here and there. Family Guy, Hell's Kitchen, Last Man on Earth, MasterChef. I kind of stopped watching Sleepy Hollow. So Backstrom. So there's quite a few on that list that I watch too. Steve or Adam, how about you for Mindy Project?
Nobody really cares.
I guess that's what you think.
Yeah, I'll let Dr. Phil speak for me on that one. And
I agree. I please cancel it. I'm so over Mindy Kaling. I liked her in The Office, but now that she's on her own, she's just annoys the piss out of me. Moving on to the network NBC with the shows that are safe with The Biggest Loser, The Blacklist, Celebrity Apprentice, which has already been renewed unless Donald Trump's White House ambitions get in the way. So please, let's pray it returns. Chicago Fire and Chicago PD, Grimm, Law and Order SVU, The Sing-Off, and The Voice. With the shows on the bubble are About a Boy and Marry Me, neither of which are pulling good numbers yet. Both are considered to be working creatively. The Mysteries of Laura, and apparently it says, you know what the biggest mystery is. I guess that's whether or not it's coming back. Undateable and One Big Happy, still early and numbers are soft, but NBC insiders are somewhat happy with the show so far. So those are the ones on the bubble. And then on to the endangered. A to Z and Bad Judge, never officially axed, but their chances are they're probably not going to be coming back. State of Affairs and Constantine, which kind of bummed about Constantine because I really liked Constantine.
Yeah, I had high hopes for it, but Bad Judge, I'm glad that's off. Gonna get axed.
So I never watched it.
Yeah,
and A to Z is that comedy with the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah. Kristen Miliano or something like that.
Yeah. So as far as the shows that are on the bubble, About a Boy, Marry Me, Mysteries of Laura, Undateable, and One Big Happy, how do we feel about these shows and whether or not they're going to be coming back or not?
I guess it looks like Undateable and One Big Happy are supposed to come back. So I guess I'll go with those. Mystery of Laura, that's a tough one. I don't watch really any of these, but just judging by from what I've seen, they did bring back the guy who played Greg on Dahmer and Greg as a little bit of a reunion. But no, I would say if any of them are going to get canned, I would think Mysteries of Laura out of those 5.
So how about you, Steve?
The only one I watch is Undateable, and Undateable is phenomenal. And I'm actually kind of surprised it's on the bubble, but I guess it's because of the ratings. But go watch the show because it's awesome. You laugh really hard all the time. I guess maybe it's just my kind of humor. It's really dry and sarcastic humor, but it's
Crystalia,
a really good show. Yeah, it's Crystalia, and Ron Funch is one of the more underrated comedians that I've seen in a while. Nobody talks about him. He's the best.
I love Ron Funches, and his laugh is so like I don't know if you get to hear his laugh on the show.
Yeah, they laugh on the show, which is kind of cool. It's kind of personal.
His laugh is so distinctive that I love him if even just for his laugh. I've seen his stand up, and his stand up is hysterical too. So it's I actually want to check out Undateable and One Big Happy as well. So those two I kind of have some high hopes for, just so I can still check them out. The other ones I could really care less. I say cancel them and get some new fresh blood in there. All right, so moving on to the final 2 networks, and one of them will actually be very easy. That being the CW network, or as EW is calling it, the "Hey, we're the CW, everyone's a winner." Because every show, with the exception of 2, is pretty much on the safe list. The 100, America's Next Top Model, Arrow, Beauty and the Beast, The Flash, Jane the Virgin, Reign, Supernatural, The Originals, The Vampire Diaries, and Whose Line Is It Anyway, all on the safe list. On the bubble, as of right now, is iZombie, but it's still very early, so it's very tough to say. I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah, it just premiered a few weeks ago, didn't it?
Yeah, it's only been like 3 or 4 episodes. So it's still very, very early to tell. The only endangered show for the network is Heart of Dixie, and it's kind of funny because they have it as a flat line for EW, which I could really care less about that one.
Rachel Bilson's in it, though.
True, but she'll be in something else.
Yeah, it's been 4 seasons, so I mean, they got it right though. Like with the exception of like 3 shows, maybe, or 4 tops, the CW's like shows are just, I don't know, they're not up to snuff when it comes to other networks, but they keep them around forever. So, I mean, I think.
Well, some of the shows they have on that network, I feel, are actually better than some of the other network shows.
Yeah, like I said, with the exception of a few.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Arrow.
I guess Jane the Virgin is the best thing since sliced bread, but whatever.
Apparently,
yeah.
Since it was the only CW show up for like Emmy awards.
Whatever.
But the only show, like I said, on the bubble as of right now is iZombie. My prediction is that it's going to come back.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be back.
So how about you, Steve?
I actually I don't watch any of the CW shows, and I don't even know what channel number CW is. So
check your local listings.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're all wonderful because they're all coming back. So I can't really add anything to this except Jane the Virgin is awesome.
You don't watch The Flash or Arrow either?
No, I don't. No, but a lot of people do.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, they get good ratings. So.
Yeah.
Le who, the her.
And probably the most interesting network out of all of them as far as the shows go is ABC. Starting off with the safe list, America's Funniest Home Videos, The Bachelor, Blackish, Castle, Dancing with the Stars, Fresh Off the Boat, which I heard is actually getting some flack because the guy that it's about, he's not liking where they're going with the show. Because it's actually a true story about a guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of like the Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs isn't it? Oh, yes, it is actually. Based off the writer.
Yeah, based off
his life in Philadelphia. Yep. Yeah. Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I thought Grey's Anatomy was done. Is it one more
not.
after this?
Grey's Anatomy will never die.
Sweet mother of mercy.
The Middle, Modern Family, Once Upon a Time, Scandal, and Shark Tank.
Shark Tank is back.
I love Shark
Such
Tank.
A good show.
It's a phenomenal show. On the bubble right now.
I will say I didn't watch it for like the first few seasons because when it first came on, I thought it was something like Shark Week type of deal with like Discovery. So like I put it on and I was like, what the hell is this shit? So I turned it off. I didn't watch it for like 3 years. And then when I actually watched a full episode, I enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a good show. But the shows on the bubble right now for ABC are Agent Carter, American Crime, Christella, Last Man Standing, Nashville, and Secrets and Lies. And then into the endangered shows, which there's one on this list, and I really hope it comes back. Forever, Gallivant, Revenge, and Resurrection. I love Gallivant. I really wish it comes back. It's so funny because the group of people that I was with up in New York, we were celebrating a friend of mine's birthday party, and she didn't know where we were going until we actually got to New York. And there's a song in Gallivant called "We're Off on a Secret Mission," and a bunch of the people that were in the group, there's like 10 of us walking through New York, and a bunch of the girls were actually like skipping and singing that song as we were going through New York City. Just a little side project.
Not embarrassing at all.
No, not at all. Actually, it was actually kind of fun, and I had the song stuck in my head for a while.
Steve, little known fact, Steve does that everywhere he goes.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I thought Agent Carter and Gallivant were like supposed to just be
fill-ins.
Yeah, like 6-run episodes, 8-run episodes, whatever, and done.
That's what I thought about Agent Carter, and the way it ended, it could definitely be that way. But Gallivant, they set up for another season.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Gallivant left you on a huge.
That was only 4 weeks long, wasn't it?
Will they come back? It was only 4 episodes. So, but it was so good. Actually, I think it was 6 episodes. I think it was 3 weeks, and they ran 2 episodes a night. So it ran for 3 weeks. But it's so good. Timothy Almondson is fantastic in it. Vinnie Jones, who I never thought would be in a musical television show, is great. I know your wife was a big fan of it too.
She enjoyed it. I watched the first episode. I just never got around to watching the rest of it. But
Steve, did you get a chance to watch Gallivant at all?
No, I didn't. But I heard it was fun for people that like that kind of thing, which I do. I just never watched it.
Which makes it more impressive that he walks around life singing "We're off to a secret mission."
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like Monty Python meets like Princess Bride. So it was good. So I really hope that comes back. But going back to the bubble television shows, making the predictions, Agent Carter, American Crime, Christella, Last Man Standing, Nashville, and Secrets and Lies. Which of these shows do we think are going to take the hit, and which ones do we think are going to get renewed?
I would think that's tough. One's going away. Nashville, I know, was on the bubble last year too. So I'm gonna say probably that gets dropped. Secrets and Lies probably is gonna stick around. Last Man Standing, I think, could easily stick around. Christella, I don't think looked entertaining at all. So kind of hoping that one gets dropped. American Crime, I don't know. I haven't heard much about it. And then Agent Carter, like I said, I thought that was going to be, an 8 episode run and done. So kind of could go either way on that one, I guess.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
I think Agent Carter, since it's a Marvel thing, I think that has a good chance of coming back, even though, unless it was supposed to be an 8 episode fill-in thing, I didn't hear that part. But I heard American Crime was really good. I'm kind of surprised to see that and Last Man Standing both on this bubble list, just because of the Tim Allen factor with Last Man Standing. So I would think that they would come back, and then the other 3 I wouldn't really be sure about, but considering there's so many on the bubble, they're probably looking to just get rid of shows and start over anew with new shows. So I would think that those 3 have a pretty good chance of leaving.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, there's only really 2 shows on the list that I actually care about because I watch them. Agent Carter, which I think is like you said, with the Marvel relationship in ABC, I think has a good shot at coming back. Last Man Standing, I'm a big fan of because it's pretty much Home Improvement 2.0. Mm-hmm. But the only complaint I have with Last Man Standing, it's a very funny show, and again, Home Improvement 2.0, I was a big fan of Home Improvement. The only complaint I have with Last Man Standing is it gets way too political. Like his character in the show is very hard on Republican. Yeah. So there's a lot of knocks at Obama and the Democrats, and I think they could probably leave that out and it still be a funny show.
Yeah, I think that they're kind of trying to use it as a political statement kind of thing, which is weird because it's a sitcom, but I think that they're kind of doing that on purpose just because there is so much of it.
Yeah, probably, but I think they hit it a little too hard sometimes. Like here and there is fine, but I think they hit it a little too hard. Yeah. But I still hope it comes back because I do enjoy the show. So, but that's it. That's our rundown of the shows that are on the bubble, endangered and safe for the season. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have our interview with Ori Pfeffer from USA's Dig that Steve and Adam got to talk to earlier on this week. We'll replay that interview for you in full when we come back, so stick around.
Hey, I'm Chris Parnell from Archer, and you're listening to the Showcast on Next Level Radio.
All right, welcome back to the Showcast on Next Level Radio and the interview portion of our show. This week we have a talented actor who has burst onto the scene as Detective Cohen in USA's new hit Dig, which you can find Thursday nights at 10 o'clock. Ori Pfeffer joins us today. How's it going, Ori?
Pretty good, man. Loving this.
Good to hear from you. Yeah, you're better than us. I just covered a baseball game and it's about 35 degrees outside, so that was a lot of fun.
It's good to be in LA.
Yeah, I hear that.
I think it's around 85 here, so.
Rubbing it in.
Yeah, it's about the right.
Yeah. I'm wearing my Speedos. I'm walking around down Rodeo Drive.
I think even if you didn't tell me what temperature it was, I probably could have come pretty close in guessing it, because I feel like it's always the same temperature there.
Right. I thought you were going to say you were guessing me walking down with a Speedo.
I could have never guessed that.
Right. There you go.
So Dig, I guess, now is about 6 episodes in now, but we do live in the age of the binge watcher. So for anyone who hasn't seen the show yet and wants to caught up, can you tell us a little bit about Dig and then your character, Detective Cohen, as well?
Yeah, it's adventure, I'd say somewhere between the world of the Da Vinci Code and Indiana Jones.
Sure.
We got a lot of action. We got a lot of really, really cool characters. And the show starts off with this murder case that takes place in Jerusalem. And all of a sudden, it turns out to be a conspiracy 2,000 years in the making. And the FBI agent, played by the incredible Jason Isaac, is stationed in Jerusalem, which is my turf, my city. And he kind of latches onto me to kind of stall this case and ensue this beautiful bromance thing that we have going on. And I think where we at now, I mean, we're going through the, kind of stages of relationship constantly, and I think we're coming on episode 6, we're at the anger stage. So that's going to come up. Other than this main line of story, the series revolves around the world. I mean, we have a story that takes place in Croatia, and we have a story that takes place in New Mexico, and everything kind of like converges to that heating point. So little by little, we uncover the mystery, the global mystery, and it's just very entertaining, very thrilling, and we got a really, really great cast, and Tim Crane from Heroes and Gideon Rapp from Homeland created the show, so, you don't need much more than these two brains to get this up on a real roller coaster ride. And it was a roller coaster ride to do it, as it is, I guess, to watch it. So, because we started off shooting this thing in Israel, in Jerusalem, which is an incredible city, and just like, it really played like a character in the show. All of a sudden you're shooting in these locations that are 2,000 years old, and you go, wow, maybe if I start digging right here, I'll find something. It's like delude yourself that you might find the art of the cosmic. So,
that would have made a great story in the headlines.
Yeah, right? Shooting the show, finding that's going to be the spin-off. So we started there, and it was really unique and different and vibrant, and because I guess not too many productions are filming there yet, it was, how in Hollywood or in the States, you shoot something, and some people walk by, and they're very respectful, and they ask, hey, what do you shoot, blah, blah, blah. There, it's very visceral. They go like, yo, you're in my way. Do it again. Everybody has something to say. And it's really different. And it's really exciting, and it's almost like theater at some point, because they're looking and they're giving you like, a score right there. So after that, some things heated up around the area, so we had to pull back and went to Croatia, just up for Jerusalem, and New Mexico, where we did all the studio stuff. And so all of a sudden, like, this show turned out to be like a James Bond film for us. We were shooting 3 different continents, and over the course of 10 months. And we have this international crew, and it's just, like, super exciting, and,
No, definitely.
So
sounds crazy. I know, like Steve had mentioned with the age of binge watching, I'm mostly on board with the whole binge watching thing, not by choice always, though. I have a 4-month-old son, so it's not always easy for me to watch shows when they're on live. But, I'm still a couple episodes back on Dig, but in doing a bit of the research for the interview, I did spoil a twist for myself, which I actually ended up watching just the other day anyway. But your character is actually revealed as gay at one point in the series. What were some of the challenges and maybe difficulties being a straight man portraying a gay detective? Because I'm sure, it's got to be tough as far as making sure you do the correct type of portrayal and don't disrespect anybody.
Absolutely. Giddy's gay, so he was on board at all times. And I think one thing that was really important to him that he conveyed to me right from the get-go was like, it's not an issue. It's not an issue.
Yeah, the show kind of portrays that, which is kind of cool.
Right, and I think that is the power in the writing, and I think that's what I love about the character. A, there's no judgment about this, and B, it is not an issue, and it shouldn't be an issue,
No, exactly.
So
that's what I love about it. And I love the fact that, you know, I have gay friends who are, you know, you could think that they're straight or whatever. It doesn't have to be like this type of gay. There's so many types of people, and I just hope, you know, I did service to portray it in a, you know, in a way that is respectful and just like true to the friend that I kind of based this character on.
Right. Yeah, that's great. And then a little spinning off your character a little bit. Obviously, they do portray a very serious role, but getting into your real life a little bit, I looked a little bit into your social media accounts, and it does look like you like to have a good time off the set. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek into what you enjoy in your downtime when you're not doing filming?
Sure, man. I mean,
other than walking around in Speedos?
Yeah.
Right. We go out, you know, we have fun. And then in New Mexico, it was great because, like you, I got not a 4-month-old, but I got 2 kids, a 3.5 and a 1.5-year-old. So every weekend I just pushed them in a van, and we went to, like, every possible place, from the Grand Canyon to watch the sunset, to Sedona, to Taos, Cafe. We made a point of having a beautiful family time around the time, because, you know, when you shoot, it's so demanding. It's such long hours that when you get off, you just want to have a beer and a slice of pizza, and then go to, you know what I mean? But, you do have a couple of days off. We really made an effort to make an adventure for ourselves. And it was funny because I was there with my family, and Jason wasn't there with his family. His family just moved back to London and whatnot. So he was like our third son. We would take him along. And like at dinner, he would always show up, bring flowers to my wife, and he was so sweet about it. And it's just so we had this camaraderie going on because you know, being together for so long, and even though I didn't stand him at the beginning, we fell in love. It was so hard because the director, when we started, said to me, "Listen, I don't want you to talk to him. You got this tension going on." And then I meet this guy who's supposed to be this, you know, ultra alpha male, kind of like tough guy, and he's just the sweetest person in the world. So that lasted for about 3 minutes, and then it's like, oh, you know, hey, for that guy, and all of a sudden, you know, it's La Familia. So that was great, and we had Allison, who was so sweet, and she's a singer too, which I didn't know beforehand, and she would like serenade us, and just, you know, we'd do like karaoke competitions in the van, going to work and coming back. I always lost because I have the most this voice on the planet, but I sound like Pavarotti, so, you know, they got that dichotomy, and so everybody suffers from that, and I guess music is a recurring thing in the thing, because Jason has this boombox that he takes with him everywhere, and at first it's a little like daunting, but all of a sudden, like, wherever you go, there's a soundtrack to what's going on, like in between takes, in between, like, in the car. Always, there's music constantly, always music. And that's just, it was a unique thing for me. And I think I'm going to take that with me.
No, that's all. That's always, yeah, I mean, that's good experiences to have.
It's not like, I'm not saying, you know, it could fucking blow your mind, you know. I'm not thinking, oh, you hear music. But then you got to surrender to it. You know?
You didn't pull a Christian Bale? Start yelling at people?
Yeah. At the moment I was close to it, but then, like I said, I surrendered. I really harnessed that thing to have, and just like, that keeps you in like this cool zone where, you know, what we do, you got to be relaxed. You really, you know, I think the great secret of any performance is just being relaxed. And, you know, a set environment is a pretty tense environment because there's a lot of money, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of things going on. And it's just about maintaining that relaxation. And music does that. So, you know, it's like when you see basketball players, right? They're showing up with their earphones
beats
before the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
Well, like you said, I mean, I know we're getting short on time with you, but we got just a quick couple more questions for you. Like you said, you're currently out in L.A., but looking into your history a little bit, you were born in Jerusalem and for the most part live out in Tel Aviv. What's it been like moving from Israeli television and film to getting into American television and film, like Dig, and I know you did Munich and World War Z?
Well, I think we got such great talent in Israel. I actually came out of a screening here in L.A. of an Israeli director, a movie with Gary Oldman and Kevin Costner. There's a lot of talent in Israel. I think one thing that really separates the industry in Israel versus here is money. You know, the biggest show in Israel is like $100,000 per episode, and here you're doing a show that is almost $5 million an episode.
Yeah.
So basically, whatever your vision is, they're going to execute it, and especially on a show like Dig, you see it. I mean, just the scale of the show, and just, you know, it's really, it's bigger than life. And I think to recreate that kind of environment and that kind of a reality, you have to have a lot of money. And so I'd say, and of course, it's lubricated here. You know, the machine works just like seamlessly, and that's something that I think Israel needs to catch up to.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you have a director, you have the director of photography, the DP, and the actor, and that's the dance. You know, that's who's on the dance floor and who's doing, you know, the thing at the end of the day. So if you got those three elements, top grade, then you're good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you did talk a little bit about the differences between American to Israeli. Was the goal to always be in Hollywood, or did you have a moment where it kind of just clicked for you, where you said, okay, let's go get to Hollywood now?
Well, I think, you know, growing up, my mom is Australian, my dad remarried an American, so I spent a lot of time here and in Australia, and of course the world, the way that is, I don't know how old you guys are, but American influence all over the world is so dominant. Western world, you know, watching movies and watching TV shows.
Right.
So you always kind of like go, maybe this. I remember like my, you know, looking up to Sly Stallone when I was a kid, the Rambo movies, and it's like that whole world. You go, and then he came and he shot Rambo 3 in Israel. It was like, oh wait, it's possible. These worlds do collide in some weird way.
Yeah.
And I went and I met him and I took a picture with him. I think I was 11. I was like, I guess everything is possible. So yeah, I will say I've always kind of like had it in the back of my mind and hoped for it a little bit too. So it's a great dream come true. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
It sounds cliche. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm not so cool. I'm not so cool. But yeah,
well, I'll speak for all of America when I say we're glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So you can go ahead and follow Ori on Twitter and Instagram. That's at Ori Pfeffer, which I'll spell it out here: ORIPFEFFER. And make sure to tune in to Dig on USA. Again, you can find it Thursday nights at 10. Thanks a lot for joining us, Ori.
Thanks for having me, guys. All right, take care.
Awesome. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Thomas Decker from the show Backstrom, and you are listening to Next Level Radio.
Wiggin' whack!
So yeah, good job to you and Steve for that interview with Ori.
Thanks.
We always do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always do a good job. I think we all do a good job.
Good jobs all around, guys.
Pats on the back. So there you go.
That one was only for Steve.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wasn't a part of it. All I did was record it and edit it. Which you could have done.
With my eyes closed.
So we're going to get ready to wrap things up, but before we do, I think it's worth mentioning that Star Wars is back into being able to be purchased in yet another iteration, this time for the digital release. Is it all 3 or is it all 6? I can't remember.
You are the one who came up with this, so I figured you'd know.
Well, I figured we all might have seen the list.
Nope.
You know? Or at least saw it in the news. I think it's the entire saga, so it's all six movies of Star Wars.
Do they make a ton of money every time? Like, why they keep doing this?
They have to. Yeah. They have to, because they release it like every 4 or 5 years. They release some other version of it. Yeah. And it's funny too, because I actually learned something interesting about the Star Wars movies while I was away. My buddy Chris, whose house I was over this weekend. He actually has a version of it, and it's very hard to find because of this.
I have it too.
It's actually.
I know what you're
going to say. Do you know what I'm talking about? You do?
Maybe.
What is it?
I was just going to say, without all that extra shit that Lucas added in when the new ones came out.
It's called the despecialized
original theatrical release or whatever.
No, well, no, because even that, when he first released them, there were changes made, and I'll give you the reason why. There's one version of it. It's never been put out on DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, nothing.
So how does he have it?
It's a digital copy.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was ripped off of, I guess, like a laser disc or something like that a ways back, but it's stuck around, and it's very, very hard to find, and he has it. But it's called the despecialized version, and the main reason behind it is that Lucas's ex-wife was one of the editors of the film, and when they divorced and they released it on VHS and such, and all the platforms, Lucas made just enough changes to the film that it could still keep its original theatrical label, but just enough changes that she would not get any royalties from the actual film being out.
Talk about a messy divorce.
Yeah, so it's obviously
what's different in that one?
I don't know, because we didn't watch it. So, but I think it's only of the original Star Wars. It's not of Jedi and such, because she was only the editor on the first film.
Well, back for a while there, it was hard to find the original theatrical release on DVD or anything. Like, they had the added scenes or added CGI stuff, and they added Christian... what the hell's his name?
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, sorry, Hayden Christensen at the end.
Mannequin Skywalker.
Yeah, at the end scene, instead of having the other guy who had played Darth Vader.
Which was stupid.
But the DVD version I had of that had the option to actually watch the original as well.
And the new Blu-ray version has that as well now,
good.
too. The new Blu-ray collection has you can watch it original or you can watch it remastered. And
goodness.
You go original every time. Yeah. But I know we've talked about this before, but Steve wasn't a part of the show when we talked about this, so I figured we might reiterate it real quick before we wrap things up. My buddy Mike is actually showing his kids the Star Wars movies for the first time, and he posted on Facebook, what order should I show them? And this is a topic we've talked about before. So, Steve, I know we talked about this a little bit while we were on break, but not when we were recording. What order, if you could watch the movies, would you watch them? If you were to show your kids these movies, what order would you show them the film?
First, you'd have to get the Spanish version. His kids don't speak English.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you mail order your wife. Yeah, we mentioned that I have, it's not all the time, but in certain amounts I have a massive OCD problem, so I would absolutely have to watch them in order. Even when I watch them now, I have to watch them in order. I can't just pick one up. So in perfect order, 1 through 6 would be the way that I would have to go.
So you'd actually have to start with episode 1?
I would, yes.
Oh, I feel bad for you.
It doesn't work out too well.
The first 3 movies,
Exactly,
when you watch them all, is really going to be a struggle.
Yeah, it's not as bad when I do. It's not as bad. I can do 4, 5, and 6 in order, in that order, but I would prefer to do 1 through 6.
Yeah, see, I mean, if I would say I had a preferred order now after seeing all 6 of them, it would be 4 through 6 and then just not even watching the first 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess you could kind of look at it as if you watch the first 3 first, they're so bad that you can go into 4, 5, and 6 afterwards and kind of like cleanse the palate
if
a little
I
bit
watched
of
4,
how bad
5,
they
and
are.
6 first, I don't think I would watch 1, 2, and 3. I think I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm okay.
I'm just going to leave it
I'll
at
watch
this.
Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah, I think that's what I would kind of compartmentalize it, where I would make the decision to watch 4, 5, and 6 and just get rid of 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because now we all have a different order that we watch them in, because you said you would watch them 1 through 6. Adam, you said 4 through 6, and then probably not even 1 through 3 at all. My order is a little different, and I know we had discussed this on a previous podcast, but my order would actually be 4 and 5, because at the end of 5 is obviously the big reveal of Vader and Luke. And then 1, 2, and 3, because it would almost play out as a flashback to how Vader grew up and became
a very long
Luke's father.
and terribly done flashback.
Yes. And then episode 6, because it would wrap up the rest. You would come back to the present day, and it would kind of wrap up the rest of the story. So my order would actually be 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah, and I think I had said before, I think that's pretty cool. That's a good way to try it.
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it.
Like, if you're showing somebody for the first time if they know nothing about it, so it would obviously have to be a kid, because any adult probably already knows about the whole Darth Vader thing. I think you almost have to show them 4 and 5 first because of the twist.
And that's if you show your kids, and that's what I told my friend Mike as well. It's like, if you show your kids 1, 2, and 3 first, you're pretty much ruining the big reveal at the end of Empire.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that when that movie came out was huge.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, and you're pretty much ruining that for your kids. So I mean, if I show my kids whenever I have them the Star Wars movies, which I will, I'm sure I will.
That would have been like if Edward Cullen was Jacob or Taylor Lautner's dad.
No, can we not even bring Twilight into this?
I had to
It's a
mention
good effort.
Yeah. All right, so cool. Yeah, I figured we'd bring up Star Wars real quick, since it was one of those things that is fresh in our minds with the new release of the money making out of Lucasfilms, and actually it's more Disney now that's making the money off of them.
That
And with the new one coming, and the new one coming out isn't Lucas, right?
No, I think it's Disney, but I think it's still LucasArts.
Right, but he doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, it's
George Lucas has nothing to do with these new ones. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. With that being said, let's work towards wrapping things up. But first, we have to hit Adam's weekly update.
And now, the Showcast Weekly Update.
All right, this week's weekly update brought to you by Toyota. We stopped the competition without ever stopping our cars.
Yeah.
What is that in regards to?
They had a bunch of brake problems. Read the news. It was a while ago. I only know that because a lot of my friends have Toyotas. But
I just like, you're like, read the news.
They all stopped at stop signs and stuff. Anyway, let's get into the weekly update here. A movie cinema company has begun opening 4D movie theaters that bring smells, rain, and even snow to your movie experience. Unfortunately, they ran into some problems during the trash compactor scene in Star Wars Episode 4, the sandstorm scene in American Sniper, and the entirety of Slumdog Millionaire. Electronic Arts is reportedly working on a sequel to last year's Need for Speed, starring Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul. This comes as a surprise to many, considering Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider has a higher Rotten Tomatoes rating, and it made less at the box office than My Neighbor's Kid makes mowing lawns. Next up, according to a new study, taking a shower, even if you've already taken one, can help reset an unproductive day, which in turn has led to some really awkward encounters at work.
That's a good one.
Next up, you have Will Smith's 16-year-old son Jaden has recently been spotted multiple times wearing a dress and saying he's all about buying girl clothes. Apparently, somebody has been hanging out at the Jenner household a little too much.
Oh, boy.
That's two cheap shots at the Jenner household in the last few weeks, so I think I hit my quota.
That's not enough. Cheap shots at the Jenner household and the Kardashian household.
Next,
keep them coming.
Next up, Bruce Jenner, transvestite. No, okay. A Brinks armored truck overturned last Friday, spilling money onto the roadway, slowing traffic as motorists scrambled to pick up the cash. Said the driver of the armored truck, "I just wanted to make it rain on them hoes." In case you didn't get the reference. I know Steve did. I didn't know if Ben would get it, so that's why I had that ready. Finally, this actually just happened today. Hillary Clinton has officially announced her bid in the 2016 presidential race. According to reports, her campaign slogan is "Pantsuits reign supreme in 2016." And that's who we clicked.
So, yeah, I mean, I've already seen a bunch of people complaining about the fact that Hillary's running, and I've seen a couple of my friends who are Democrats, and they're like, "Well, looks like I'm looking at Republicans now." It's like, look, do you guys have to realize something? Learn how politics works. Just because she's running doesn't mean she's going to get the bid.
Yeah,
she's running for the bid.
She has to still win the Democratic part of it. So
yes, so
that's a lock if we want to talk about politics, but I think
we don't. We don't. Cool. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Showcast. Join us next week. We are going to be talking to TJ Thine from Fox's Bones. With that being said, we'll wrap things up. Unless anybody else has anything else.
No. Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. You got it.
All right, cool. As Adam said, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/nextlevelradio online. Follow us on Twitter at NXT Level Radio. Find us on iTunes. Just search for Next Level Radio online, or Next Level Radio, and subscribe, as well as leave us a favorable rating. Check out our website, www.nextlevelradioonline.com, for all of our past shows and interviews. And with that being said, we are out of here. We'll see you around the bed. Take care and have a great week.
Later.
You son of a bitch.